Hello, everybody. Good evening and welcome to the United Stand. It's the Sunday night show. I'm joined by Jay, Adam and Joe. How are you all doing, lads?
Good, mate.
Good.
Phenomenal.
5 days out from Cristiano Ronaldo's debut, hopefully for Manchester United. And tonight we're going to be talking about Solskjaer under pressure, really. Not in the sense that he's going to get the sack, but I think we've seen Lingard play this afternoon. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But what is becoming abundantly clear amongst all the excitement is that we do have a lot of players. Martial scored last night. Sancho, Rashford's coming back. Cavani, Ronaldo, Bruno, Pogba, Van der Beek, all these attacking players. And one thing's clear, that if you don't get the results, he's almost out of excuses. That's what I'm trying to say. I saw a brilliant clip from Sir Alex, which I tweeted off my Twitter a few minutes ago, saying that there's a clip of Sir Alex saying this club's about winning titles, nothing else. And I think that maybe for the last 8 years, we've been living in this world where, fourth's quite good, third's quite good, second's quite good. I think the quality of player that we've got now, that the excuses are basically up for Ollie, and I think he's under a different type of pressure. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how he's going to handle that pressure and what we're expecting as we approach the end of the international break and the start of the games. We'll start off with you on this one, Adam, tonight. I mean, ahead of transfer window shut, football season's about to kick back off again next Saturday. When you see things like Lingard today, or you see Martial last night, or you see Ronaldo coming into the club, and I think everyone's just excited at the moment. But what's becoming clearer to me is that you can't just be excited. You can't pick 15 players, and some of these players want to play every single game. Like people are just rotate Ronaldo and Cavani. Oh yeah, you play one game. Lingard will get game time. Oh, yeah, will he? What's Bruno going to, how do you think this is going to go? And what do you think, the most important question, I suppose, and I want to get everyone's opinion on this. How do you think Solskjaer is going to handle this? Because one of his big things from last season was he didn't rotate beyond 13 players.
Yeah.
How do you think he's going to deal with this?
Do you know what? We had it last night in terms of, I was talking to me, Jay, Beth and Kev last night. We were saying the same thing with Ronaldo and Cavani fighting for that number 9 spot. When you break it down, you've got Anthony Martial scoring last night for the world champions in a World Cup qualifier, who could literally be 4th choice number 9 for Manchester United. Straight away, you go in, Ollie, no excuse, mate. Then you go, Jesse Lingard, he's got more game time and goals for England than he has with United over the last year, banging him in World Cup qualifiers. He's going, I want to stay here, Ollie. Use me. More pressure. And Alanga, under 23s for Sweden. Even he's tearing it up. Do you know what I mean? He scored 2 as well this week. They've got an awful lot. You could even throw Lindelof, captain for Sweden. We've had a lot of what you would call second-string players have really, really good weeks this week. And it's all just coming down to the same thing. How does Ole manage what is going on? Because he said last season, Greenwood was made the scapegoat, in my opinion, or behind Martial and Rashford. So Greenwood was playing well. I think we all seen it in the final against Villarreal. Greenwood was sacrificed over Rashford, and Rashford was by far the worst player in our front line that day. But Greenwood comes off again. Greenwood's our best forward now. And now he's got Cavani and Ronaldo to deal with. So I'm looking at it going, as much as Greenwood is firing, I'm not completely confident that Ollie isn't going to get pressured into dropping Greenwood again this season. It's criminal to think it, but I can't put it past Ollie. And this is what he's got to manage. This is what he's got to try and figure out, because there's no more favouritism in Rashford right now. He's 4th or 5th on the pecking order right now. He's got to earn his way back in. And I love Rashford. Everyone knows it. You know what I mean? I've got my issues with Martial and his attitude at the moment, but he took his chance last night. He had a chance. It wasn't, it's Ukraine and whatnot, and he did have a chance before his goal as well, which he should have put away, which he didn't. But this is a man who's playing for the world champions and scoring goals and getting chances from a midfield with Pogba in the middle of it. And Pogba's the one playing these balls through to Martial, by the way. So there is a link there. So Ollie has got options everywhere, and how he manages it will determine this season if he is Manchester United manager material or not. If you want to write off the last few years, you can do. But like Fergie said, and you tweeted out, Mark, this is about winning trophies. This is what this club is about. And right now, this is the closest resemblance we've had to a Ferguson-style team in a decade, near enough. Because I don't even think Fergie's win with that team was a Fergie-esque sort of team or squad. I think this is a lot stronger than what we won the league with last. And ultimately, Ole will be judged on this season by hardened Man United fans, not just the ones who are critical of him now, but everyone sees who's here and everyone wants to know how he's going to manage it, how he does it. Mate, honestly, I don't know. Just because of what I've seen Ole do, like you said, in previous, last season before, unless he's going to change completely, then I don't know how he's going to handle it. Because for me right now, his signings and the players that have come in are automatically picking the team for him. Because I don't see Ole saying no to Ronaldo. I don't see him saying no to Cavani if Ronaldo comes out. Cavani's the next one in line. So how do you handle Martial? How do you handle Rashford? And then you've got Greenwood, our best player at the moment, who's now got Ronaldo to fight and Cavani to fight when he's fit. And I'm not even getting into the two players that he was behind last season in Martial and Rashford. So all he's got to change. Simple as that, mate. That's how he does it, in my opinion.
Yeah, Joe, we'll go to you next. I mean, do you see that? And last season, he didn't rotate much. This season, to keep so many, not even people happy, to keep so many top players happy, he's got to rotate. But then you might make people unhappy when, Bruno sees 65 minutes, I'm coming off for Lingard. Ronaldo sees Cavani and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'll score in the 90th minute. How do you see he's going to handle this? Because I think this is the thing. I think it's a great position to be in as a United fan, because it's like, whether you're Ole in or you're Ole out, it's all eyes on Ole, isn't it? Now.
Yeah, I am so excited for this season, especially now that the transfer window's gone by. We know what squad we have. We know the caliber of player we got coming in. I think this is like defining for Solskjaer, and this is where we will finally find out whether he's the man or the man before the man. Because no matter what happens, if we end up maybe in sixth place, whatever position, when he eventually gets sacked, we'll say, I still think he has put together a squad which, if he doesn't succeed with, someone will. I think we've got champions in there. We've got potential for future in there. This is literally the best time post-Ferguson to be a Manchester United fan. And I'm someone with great faith in Ole, and I believe that this is a joining force for everyone, because I've made the excuse so many occasions that he has been backed in the window. And that's been the excuse for whatever many seasons now. But we look at this time, he definitely has been backed. He's got every player he wanted plus an extra one as well. So there's no excuses. And the only way Ole can deal with this, and I do believe before, he was afraid to take players off because he did not have the caliber of player to come on and make a difference. Because we'll say Rashford comes off for in Europa League final. Like, obviously Rashford didn't have a good game. He takes Greenwood off, but Rashford on so many occasions did not play well, but got a goal. So I'd say in Solskjaer's head, he's going, well, Rashford has gotten me goals out of similar types of performances. Greenwood isn't always doing that. Greenwood will do that eventually, but not right now. So I can understand that thinking. But now he looks at this bench. If he starts Rashford, he's got Martial, who I do believe is coming into form. Who knows which Martial we will get when it comes back, but he's definitely going to get an opportunity till Rashford comes back, and I'm really excited about that. But across the board, we are just going to be. This is his defining year, and I'm so excited for it. And I do believe. I don't think he has to change, because I think finally he can hopefully be the manager he wants to be, and he has the choice of players that he wants to come on. So I am really excited for it, and this is a unifying year for every Man United fan, because whether you're Ole in or Ole out, by May next year, that decision is made, because we're all in or all out, and we'll know by then. So for every United fan out there, just leave your egos aside, whatever way you're standing, let it go, and just let's all support the club, because no matter what, in less than a year's time, the answer is going to be made. And it's so exciting.
It's interesting that Wayne Finnegan says there that, you could play your best 11 in the league and your best Champions League. I don't disagree with that. I do disagree with that, sorry, because I think that is where we went wrong with De Gea and Henderson. You can play in the league, you can play in the cup. And what I want to see is rotation based on performance. I don't want to see, Cavani have penciled you in for this game and Ronaldo have penciled you in for that. I want to see, okay, Rashford, you didn't play well in that game. You dropped Martial's chance, and you play until you play badly, and then you're dropped. That's what I want to see. I don't know whether we'll see that. I think we might see what we're sort of thinking is he suddenly starts rotating fairly. I worry we'll get the goalkeeper situation, which is I've penciled you in for that game. You won't play this one, but I'll pencil you in for that one. And, I think the real thing we want to see from Solskjaer is rotation's the same as the substitutions. We want to see substitutions around the 60-minute mark if someone's playing badly, not sticking with them until the 85th minute. On that, Jay, I wanted to ask you sort of development of the question, really. Do you think, well, two questions really. Do you think he actually will, considering there is a lot of competition in Ronaldo's position, do you think he will rotate Ronaldo for Cavani and Greenwood, who are strikers? Do you think he actually will rotate Ronaldo, or do you think Ronaldo will play every minute of every game he wants to?
Good question, Mark. And obviously the question will be answered between now and May. We saw on last Tuesday when Ronaldo played Ireland, Ronaldo didn't really play well, missed the penalty. He was like a 60 out of 10. And then the last 2 minutes, the mentality monster that is Ronaldo pops up and rescues 3 points from a definite loss against my country. Not props to Ronaldo. So, Joe, I know. So, look, someone like Ronaldo has got to stay in the pitch. And Ronaldo, massive ego. He's the typical alpha male player. He's going to want to play when fit every minute of every game. And Ronaldo, once he's on the pitch, you can't take him off. You can't. He's the one player you cannot take off. For me. So, I think any possible excuses that the Ole in brigade would have given that would watch United with the most red tinted spectacles has now been gone. It's like somebody that's been driving a field punter on a motorway at 80 kilometers per hour, dithering along, hold up traffic, risk adverse, just stay in your lane in your 4-2-3-1 formation. And all of a sudden, that driver field punter has been handed the keys to Ferrari. Here, go and do 200 kilometers per hour. Can Solskjaer do it? None of us sitting here right now, or anybody in the live chat, has the answer. Solskjaer himself has to provide the answers, and his career, his legacy at the club, his manager legacy, will be based on what happens over the next couple of months. So whether one is Ole in or Ole out right now, it's irrelevant. Solskjaer has to write his own chapter, and we know in May.
Do you think, just Jay, very quickly on there, because you mentioned something about formation, I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility. I mean, I think Paul Ince said it to us last couple of weeks ago. He said, maybe Lindelof doesn't get dropped. Maybe he goes to back five. Some people are talking about a front two. Some people even saying he might put Ronaldo on the wing. I mean, these are scary things to me because I think, look, we play a 4-2-3-1. You put Ronaldo as the number 9, and if that means Cavani's on the bench, he's on the bench. But you're doing the best out of the team that you've got. Do you think he might be looking at different ways of playing to get players in, to do different formations? Or do you think we will just see him continue with what he's basically set out, which is the 4-2-3-1? Would you want him to make any formation changes?
In an ideal world, Mark, I would love Solskjaer to go back to the 4-3-3 that his career at the club was predicated on. I can't remember the stats offhand, but did he win something like 13 or 16 games initially? And we were all, me included, were espousing, give him the job. And we all lost the run of ourselves with that away win in Paris. Now, we all know what happened against Barcelona next round, but that's the side point. He got the job. And once he got the job, he became very pragmatic and risk averse. When you have a Ronaldo, a Bruno, a Pogba, a Rashford, Mason in your side, you cannot be risk averse. Look, if we were handed the keys of a Ferrari, we're all pretty ballsy individuals. We drive the bloody thing. So Solskjaer now has to drive for this Ferrari, not did her around in third gear. If he stays with the 4-2-3-1 and we're playing the counter-attacking football and not providing, and I'm phrasing I use, the mentality monster that is Ronaldo with service, that's on the manager. Then he has to go come May. He's got no excuses for me, Mark. Zero.
Apparently, the Argentina versus Brazil game has been cancelled for Premier League players. I don't know what that's all about.
But they're there already.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe they can't play or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'll try and find something out about that whilst we're on show. But I mean, look, we're going round. I mean, one thing I did want to sort of bring in, Adam, is I don't know whether you saw Lingard today. I'm not going to start saying that because he scored. I mean, he should have had a hat trick. He got an assist. He got 2 goals. Played well against the team I could probably play for. He's clearly. I don't know. I mean, for me, I think Lingard should have gone to West Ham. I mean, he was going to be a first teamer there. I don't know what he thinks he's getting out of United. I do think he's going to get game time, but he's nowhere near the level of a Bruno or a Pogba or a Sancho or a Rashford. But he is a player that, again, I mean, I don't think Jesse just went, I'm staying in Manchester. I mean, there must be a conversation about game time there. And again, I mean, we talk about game time like it's not, like we're throwing confetti about. I mean, at best, Carabao Cup games, West Ham, put a weak team out again, you'll be out. They've only got FA Cup doesn't kick in till January. I mean, it is interesting how many players we've got, not to mention the Juan Matas of this world, who will have probably been promised game time when he could have walked out the club. What do you think about? What do you think I just don't. I mean, I've got nothing against Lingard if he comes in and does well, but even if he came in and did well for 2 games, I'd still be like, right, yeah, that's nice. Now get Bruno back. It's like, I just don't get. We're talking Ronaldo, Cavani. I think that's a good conversation, but I think there's some players that I'm just like, I just don't see how this is going to work.
Yeah, it goes back to what you were touching on with Jay there in terms of changing formation, and he's tried and trusted. We've seen it with managers gone past before. It started off great with Solskjaer, then he had a bad few games and he shit the bed, basically. Van Gaal did it after the Leicester game when we got smashed by Leicester. It was going great. We've seen the best of Di Maria, scared straight away, and then we've seen the Van Gaal era of 10 games without a bleeding goal and whatnot, whatever it was on the time. It's the same thing now. Ollie's in a situation right now where he's like, and it happened to him with Spurs, the Spurs game, we just went uber defensive, and we've not seen a change in formation from that game pretty much, in my opinion, from what I've seen. And it's the same with the players. Can Ole, in this season, a career-defining, like Jay, like you said yourself, Mark, like Joe said, then this is a season that Ole's going to be judged on. This is a season where he needs to stamp his authority on this Manchester United team and his position as manager. And can he really be taking risks in the Carabao Cup playing a Lingard, a Mata? Because if he gets knocked out, the pressure hypes up even more. Then he's looking at, I've got to do something in the league now. I've got to do something in the Champions League, because he has to win something. He has to win, or he at least has to be contending for the title. And yeah, it's all good and well saying, yeah, we want to rest the players for the Champions League. We want to rest these players for the Premier League. But all that's also doing is adding pressure onto that job in hand, which is competing against City, Liverpool and Chelsea, or PSG, City, Liverpool, Chelsea again in the last stages of the Champions League. It's putting more pressure on himself. And he must have been looking at it this summer going, I cannot really afford to bring a player in that may need time to integrate and is potential based. I need starters. And for me, that's how I looked at the summer, and I was positive on it, because I went Ronaldo straight in, Varane straight in, Sancho straight in, all improving the team. And that's what Ollie needs, because he's out of time. Let's face it, he's out of time. He's had a chance to bring players through, integrate youth, whatnot. He's not done it. They haven't come through. Same with the formation. And Jesse Lingard falls right into that category, mate. He does, because he's played, like I said, he's played more for England this last year than he has Man United. Yeah, we don't know how he's going to come into this team. For me, he fits in at number 10 only, nowhere else on the pitch. I don't see him having any influence on a wing. He's about as good as Juan Mata is on the wing for me. No. Him and Mata are both 10s, in my opinion. And you've got Bruno there, who can play pretty much every single game. We know that. And that's down to all.
Would you be happy with 20 minutes to go, though? And we're playing, I don't know, Everton at home in a few weeks. And with 20 minutes to go, Bruno's having a bit of a dodgy game. And, not a terrible game, but just a quiet game. And he goes, Bruno off, Lingard on against the low block.
Do you know what? For that, I would say, credit to you, Ole. That's it. You're changing it. You're showing balls. You're taking off a big player. It's not working. Fergie used to haul off some of our best ever players. He hauled off Rooney if it didn't work. He brought Ronaldo off screaming and throwing his toys out the pram before. I know that's Fergie, and he's probably got more power to do that. But I spoke to Ricky about this the other night, and he was saying, look, the reason Portugal was so bad was because of Bruno. And I'm like, Ricky, come on. No, and he said, look, the Portugal manager hauled him off. If all he had balls, that's what we need to see. And I went, Ricky, I agree with you, mate. I do agree with you on that, because no matter how big a player you are, if it's not working on the day, that's the manager's job to figure out what might take the defender's eye off the ball if a Lingard comes on, because he's going to do something different. He's not that player that's already on in a Bruno. And you never know, he could just put that ball in or that crossing that changes the game. That's what I would like to see from him. And that, if you're asking the question where Lingard may come in this season, off the bench, possibly, if everyone isn't fit because, like you said, you just rolled off the names there at the start. He's got to get ahead of so many players just to get on the bench, and it's mind-boggling why he's actually still here.
I think he will use Lingard. I said it when I was watching the England game. I think he will use Lingard, and I think he will use Lingard ahead of Van der Beek, to be honest, because I think that's just typically Ollie. I think Ollie will promote Lingard ahead of Van der Beek now. I think he already has done that in his mind, which I find baffling. I've got nothing against Jesse, but I find it baffling that Lingard was here a year ago, got totally ignored till Christmas by Ollie, goes on loan to West Ham, does well under a different manager, and then suddenly Ollie's like, yeah, you'll do. Yeah, that's somebody else's work, mate. That's West Ham's work. You ignored him, and now you're going to bring him into your team. I mean, look, Jesse will be over the moon because he loves Manchester United, but I do find it rather odd how that's panned out. And look, hopefully we're going to use Van der Beek. But one other player I want to talk about, Joe, was Sancho. Talking about Ricky, he was messaging me. He said that I said to Adam a couple of months ago that he predicted, didn't he predict that Sancho would be out the team within 2 months or something like that?
But by Christmas, I believe.
But just on Sancho, Joe, what's your thoughts on him? I mean, it's very early days, but he doesn't, Ronaldo sort of overshadowed the signing of him anyway, which I think is quite a positive because it gives him a bit of time. But obviously, he's pulled out the England team. I don't think he'll start against Newcastle at the weekend, and I think there's a lot of competition in his place again. I mean, it's going to be interesting how Ollie handles a player that's cost him 74 million.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to also point out that Portugal weren't so bad because of Bruno. Ireland were just world class, and the referee bought the game for Portugal. Anyway, keep moving on to talk about Man United. But with Sancho, I think not only that Ronaldo overshadowed that, I think Varane did that too. And I think I don't worry about Sancho coming in at all. I think obviously it's a big money signing, but so was Bruno. That was handled quite well. He obviously he hit the ground running. But with the same thing with Bruno, he came in as not just a creator but also a goal scorer. I said this on a show before, and like with Sancho, it's his main thing is about creating, like get by a man and set up a goal, mainly getting assists. So I think it's a little bit more difficult to do that when you're not running in the flow of players that you like that you have been playing with. Do you know what I mean? He's not used to playing with them. I feel like it would have been better if Rashford had been playing, because the two of them would know each other from the England camp. A little bit with Greenwood, but not as much. So I think it's a little bit against him at the moment. But look, what is he, 20? Do you know? He set the Bundesliga on fire. I have no doubt in my mind he'll do the same for us. It just, I think, will take a little bit of time. And the one thing I give credit to Ollie for is his man management. So I think he will take him under his wing. I think he will do really, really well with him. I just think it will take a bit of time. But also when the first moment the magic happens, I think it'll all continue from there. But there's no way I'm concerned at all about Sancho. I think it would have been nice if he got to get a run out against Andorra tonight because, look, like we said, we could all play for Andorra. So I think he would have bagged in something. So I'm sure he'll do the same for Sancho. I'll do the same for United against Newcastle. I'm sure he'll assist for Ronaldo's first goal, and we'll all fall in love with him again. So I'm really looking forward to it. And I'd say give him 6 weeks to 2 months, and he'll be flying.
I think Sancho's in a great situation. I think the only thing we have to worry about is what I said this morning is that there will be rivals who want to call him a flop because Pepe cost Arsenal 70 million and they want to try and make out he's the next Pepe. But the difference is we weren't totally reliant on Sancho. We've got other players, and I think Sancho's a young player and we can afford to nurture him. And I think he'll be given every opportunity at United to succeed. And there's some fantastic players in and around him. Jay, I was just looking there at we come back, we got Newcastle. Then we've got Newcastle at home, we've got West Ham away, we've got Villa at home, and then we've got Everton at home apparently as well. So we've got 3 out of our next 4 games at home. Newcastle, West Ham's the away one, Villa, and then Everton. What realistically do you think what do you think we should be looking at in those, and what do you think we will get? I mean, there's so much is if buts and maybes, but 3 home games, none of the top 6 either. You'd look at I never like to say 12 points with United, but that is a great opportunity to go out and get maximum points in the next 4.
Look, any top class manager worth his salt driving the Ferrari that we have should look at those figures and think, right, 12 points nailed on, or your money back on paper, right? But the old cliche, football ain't won on paper, and we have dropped points last season, the season before against teams that on paper we should have beaten. West Ham, we saw last season, guys, in the was the League Cup game, and Moyes parked the bus. for pretty much 90 minutes. And then the league, was it a 2-2 draw? And Tony came back towards the end and we drew 2-2. I can't recall now the facts to be clear. So West Ham are no pushovers.
Let's say on that one, it was remember, mate, he had away from home. We had Bruno on the bench and Rashford on the bench, and they came on in the second half and absolutely smashed West Ham to pieces. It was one of United's night and day games, mate. Half and half.
Oh yeah. Pogba scored, didn't he?
Yeah.
Pogba scored. I'm trying to call the facts here. You know. Then Villa. I think Villa without Grealish this season. I know they signed Danny Ings and he got that banger goal 2 weeks ago. But Grealish not with Villa. I think Villa are like a ship out of rudder right now. So Villa are there for the taking, no question about it. Newcastle, come on, return of the Mac. We're looking at a brace for Ronaldo against Newcastle. You really would. Obviously, that's the ideal script. But look, as I said at the start of my answer, 12 points. If we get 10 points, I won't be disappointed. But as the manager of that Ferrari, you go for 12 points in the story.
I've just got. Sorry, I don't normally do this. I just was looking through the chat and I just saw this, and I'm sorry. Shout out to Krinesh. Lingard is a new player and recently and needs to start. I'm sorry. I want to win the league, mate. I don't want to put people in who just deserve to start because they're banging goals in for Andorra and West Ham. Who are you dropping? Who are you dropping for Jesse? I'm sorry. If you can play on the bench and come on and perform, that's fine. But I'm not. I think this goes back to what we're talking about. I'm not letting people off this season. We're not being a charity. We're Manchester United. We've got Cristiano Ronaldo at the club. We've got Rafael Varane at the club. We're meant to be in a title race. Stop bringing the standards down by going, oh, Jesse deserves to start. This is real now. This is not messing about. We've got to go and try and win a bloody league. And what Jay's saying there, spot on. I think you've got to get 12 points because I tell you what, after the next international break, it's Leicester away, Liverpool at home, Spurs away, and Man City at home. So we can talk about the next four, but the next four after that, that's when you find out. And I want to be in a position of strength. And I think I don't know what you think, Adam. I think our fan base needs a bit of kick up the arse sometimes. I said it on Twitter earlier on. That clip of Sir Alex is perfect. It's on my Twitter feed. He basically says this club's about winning titles. And over the last 8 years, I've had so many arguments with some people who are supposedly top reds telling me I'm being too negative. And I'm like, if I'm being too negative, the only reason I speak like I speak about United is because of that man who's on my Twitter feed, Sir Alex. Yeah, mate, his standards have always been up there. And I'm not having Lingard in the starting 11. Bullshit. He can come off the bench. I'm happy with that, but not in the starting 11.
I said it. I echo that because I said at the start of my season on my fan vlogs this season, I said, look, I know what's in this squad. I know what quality we've got right here. I know what time the manager's been given. And there's always a bedding in period. He had to deal with the crap that was left behind by Jose. Gone. Simple as that. It's gone. Right now, I'm looking at it going, I've got World Cup winners on the bench. I've got Champions League winners. I've got multiple Ballon d'Or winner now in my team. I'm looking at it going, you were second last year. Why the hell should we be accepting anything even on par with that or less than that? We shouldn't. We should be looking at setting our standards where United should be setting them with this quality of squad that we've got. And for me, I'm with you on that. Some of the fans just need to kick up the arse just to say, look, what? Yeah, Martial needs to come back. This, you need to give Rashford time on this and that. He's look at what he's done. It's that. No, shut up. You know what I mean? This is Manchester United. Yeah. This, you know what? These standards are not accepted at Chelsea, Liverpool, or City. Why have we fallen behind them? Is it because we've had a rough few years with players? Ed Woodward's been at the helm, signing bad players and this and that. What's he supposed to do? Give him time. We've got the away record. We should be happy with this. You know what I mean? What are you supposed to do? Sell a United tour saying, look at this that we've won in the last 5 years. Look, there it is. 28 games unbeaten in the Premier League. Gets the tour tickets sold. There we go. Trophies. The club is built on trophies. The Glazers bought the club because they knew the success the club was and what they were competing for, and they could make them a global juggernaut. That's why they bought them, which is baffling on its own to the investment that they give the club. But I think they're realising now that, you know what, we have to start looking at winning on the pitch because we've all seen the finances. We're not financial experts and whatnot, but we've seen the sponsorship deals dwindling. Certain companies saying no. There's going to be a time when the Glazers are going to go, yeah, we need to start putting ourselves up on that Champions League board. You know what? We may win 60 million if we actually win a Champions League. There you go. There's some money. More often than not, they're going to look at it and go, right, there's a time here where we need to sort of draw a line under this. We've floated for a bit and we're okay, but this club needs to start getting back up there. And the fan base have let it slip. Standards have slipped. And I don't know if it's a generational thing, but for me, I'm still listening to people in Old Trafford and away games, and it's just like, oh, yeah, but he had a good game in this game. And no, seriously, it's like, why should we wait for this guy to get into form? You're playing for Man United. There's enough quality on the bench. Out you go, mate. Go and learn a lesson on the bench and watch someone else play your role. And if he plays better than you, then you know exactly what you need to do. And you need to know, and it will help you know what you need to do to get back in the team. Do you know what I mean? Because you learn a lot on the bench. If you get dropped, I mean, we've probably all played football. If you drop to the bench, you have the biggest sulk in the world, but you take it on board more than playing the next week, having played crap. Because in your head, you're thinking, I'm all right. The manager thinks that I'm doing well, but no. And Ollie needs to be part of that as well. Ollie's talked the talk. He said this is United, the United way. He's been part of the programme, you know, everyone on it. So he needs to provide the goods this season as well, because this is, like I said before at the start, this is the strongest team and squad that this football club has had in over a decade. And it's simple. Win trophies, challenge every single season, because not only have we got a good first team, we have got some of the best young players coming through to utilise going forward that we've ever had as well. So he's just got everything at his disposal. Zero excuse.
Yeah.
What makes me laugh?
Rant over.
What makes no? I mean, I'm probably going to carry on here because I'm reading the comments while I'm listening, and there was a couple, not many, most of the chats on it, and a couple of people go, "Oh, it's moaning again, negativity," and I'm like, whoa. You're the problem. How are we moaning? And how are we? So we want to win. We're moaning because we want to win. We want to be top. And apparently we're being negative. And the thing is, you're like that bloke who lives in a house and the neighbour keeps coming home in his nice car, Jay's Ferrari, with a takeaway. He's turning around and he's going, Jay's had a takeaway again. What have we got? Beans on toast. Yeah, well, at least we've got a roof on our head. He's driving a Ferrari. He's got a nice takeaway. And that's what these United fans have become. They call us moaners. They call us moaners and they call us negative, but they don't listen to what we're saying. We're actually saying, Sir Alex, who taught us, says we need to win titles. You've got Cristiano Ronaldo, who's holding up Guinness Book of Records for the most goals scored in international football. If we get him to do that, we will win the league. That was what we're saying, is that all eyes on Ollie, no more excuses. What an exciting season it is, but I will not accept crappy decisions around selections and crap results. I won't accept it because I don't think there's any excuses. That is not moaning. That is not negativity. That is finally demand. It's, to be fair, Joe, you said it. It's actually been in a situation where probably a year ago, certainly under Van Gaal, certainly under Mourinho, certainly under Moyes, you'd sit there and go, I'd love to win a trophy. Got no bloody chance. But I think now, for the first time since Sir Alex left, like Adam said, I look at it now and I do say, no, it's not moaning to say no more excuses. It's not moaning to say the pressure's on Ollie. It's good pressure. It's like, actually, if you don't achieve this year, you probably have got to go because there are no excuses now.
Yeah, look, people do my head in, all right? Not ye collectively, but like on Twitter, but with this sort of stuff, all right? Because there is no excuses from here on out, as we said many a time. But like, you look at the back line we had a couple of years ago, you could understand how we were conceding goals because you had Linda Soft, as Jay always said, in the back line. Do you know what I mean? And then you had Brandon Williams playing left back, even though he's right footed. And you could see how these things were happening. But like now we've literally got arguably walking in the best defender in the league, like top three at the very least, alongside a centre half who has been growing and getting better every season. And proof comes down to that because when he got dropped out of the squad through injury at the end of last season, we fell apart. So like the excuses are, and then let's not forget we've one of the brightest sparks in European football with Jadon Sancho coming in, and then you have arguably the greatest player of all time. And I have people who've said to me, it's like, oh, you can't say the greatest player of all time. I said, yes, but you can make the argument. Therefore, that is like next level. You know, he's coming back to the club with a point to prove, to win trophies. He doesn't want, none of these players, like Varane and especially Ronaldo, are coming to settle for just getting Champions League football for a couple of seasons. Ronaldo's coming to the end of his career somehow. He's 36 and he looks 25. I wish I looked that good when I'm 25, but still. And then you have Varane at 28, who, after winning 4 Champions Leagues, do you think he just wants to sit back? There is no excuses for not just going into every game and winning, you know, but also playing well. So, like, this is the most exciting time for post-Ferguson for every Manchester United fan. Everyone. I know that we a lot of younger fans who watch as well who might have only caught the tail end of it when we weren't really playing as well as we did in the mid-2000s, early 90s. But, like, this has to happen, and it will happen, whether it be with this manager or the next. But it is a ticking clock for us to come back to the great glory days. They mightn't be as numerous as they were in the 90s and 2000s, but they will be back, and it will be this squad. I hope it's this manager. I believe it to be this manager, but they will be back. And Ronaldo and Varane are proof of that. They would not come to our club if they didn't believe that there was something good happening here. So it is exciting, and just be positive, but expect and want the best for the club. Don't be delighted that we beat Burnley 1-0 away because it's a tough away game. No, we should be going there and beating them 4 or 5-0, as City do, and then Pep moans because he has no striker. We have to expect the best we possibly can from the club, because that's the only way we'll achieve it. Look what's happening at Arsenal when they got the 4th place trophy for 6 or 7 years. Look at them now. Look at Arsenal, and just you laugh, but also feel the fear. Okay, that could be us if we let the standards drop, and we can't do that. So we can be negative, but I think we're being maybe just truthful.
I think it's time to deliver. It's all eyes on Ollie. There's no more excuses. Jay, I mean, look, you were quite negative. I don't know where you stand at the moment. You were quite negative last season. A lot of people would say justifiably so, and critical of Solskjaer. Where, you know, this personal question, where do you sit now? Because look, Ronaldo's a winner. You know, you're somebody who's big into your fitness and stuff, and I'm sure you admire what Ronaldo's done at his age to be what he is. Bringing a quality player in like that with that mentality. Are you excited about what's to come for United?
Mark, I've never been more excited as a fan of this club than I am right now. With 5 days before the return of the Mac, as I'm dubbing it. Like Ronaldo and Messi are in a class of their own. You know, we put on these terms elite, world class, but Messi and Ronaldo are up there above world class and elite. If you think Pogba, I would rate Pogba as world class, Bruno's elite, but Ronaldo is in a level that only Messi has attained. So Joe and Adam hit the nail on the head there, and in one key word: standards. Like, I don't know what's wrong with modern society. You know, kids go to school now and to get a ribbon or a medal or a certificate to participate. Bullshit. It's about winning. When I played football back at under 10 level, I come back in the car with my dad, and my dad would say to me, right, where'd it go wrong? He's like, Dad, we won. No, where'd it go wrong with you? Even when we won, my father was analysing, critiquing where I went wrong at the pitch at under 10s. Now, that's just the mentality that I grew up with, and I kept through my sporting career all my life. Now, I know, guys, society's changed. You can put whatever term you want on it, but unfortunately it has. But if you're a fan of any club in any sport, there has to be standards. And there's no question. Once Moyes took over back in 2013, that was the first drop in standards. No question about it. That was the first drop. I know Fergie went on this lovely speech, back your manager, blah, blah, blah. But Moyes wasn't meant for the job. Standards dropped that day for me, Mark. That's when it dropped. And they've been dropping since. And now we have the best front three since 2008 when we had Ronaldo, Tevez and Rooney. We finally have a front three to rival that. Yeah. We now potentially have a pairing at centre back that in time, and we see in time, can rival that golden era of Vidic and Ferdinand. Again, we shall see. I'm not going to accept the narrative, but didn't get a CDM. No manager gets what they want in every transfer window. They don't. That's just how it is. Like, you think Pep is going to be put out in the press, oh, poor me, I didn't get Harry Kane. Liverpool signed hardly nobody. I know Tuchel is playing FIFA 22 with the players he has. But that's testament to Tuchel. He came in last. He took over from Lampard, and there was none of this bullshit that the players have to adapt his philosophy. They're betting in. No, he made them hard to beat and went on and won Champions League. So, guys, for me, it's about standards, and they've dropped, and it's up to the fan base as a collective to raise the bar against the standards. You think? I know you said it there, Mark. Ronaldo's come in. He's won everything bar World Cup. He's not going to win a World Cup at Portugal. I don't think. He's won everything. He's come here to win a Champions League title and win another Premiership title. That's why he's here. End of story. And if Solskjaer isn't the man to act as the conduit to present that and provide it for Ronaldo and for Pogba and Fernandes, well, then I'm sorry, come May, it's time to change. That's just how it's going to be, guys.
Another one just dropped. The standards haven't dropped. I mean, Darbs, I don't know what you've got on your wall. 2012 annuals, I don't know. I mean, mate, it's 2021, mate. Like, the 1 and the 2 have swapped over. The standards have definitely dropped because we are not a club that fights for fourth, I'm afraid. And I don't think that will happen this year, but we certainly need to get those standards back up and running. I think that for too long, the standards have been allowed to drop. A lot of that's been down to the way the club has been run. But I think finally, I did see something, actually. I don't know whether anyone saw this. A few people mentioned it in the chat. Sorry, on the Argentina-Brazil game, apparently the problem with that is that Argentina have got Martinez of Villa, Bendia, Romero, and Lo Celso of Spurs, who've gone into Brazil without quarantining. So the officials have gone on the pitch and basically tried to deport them. But to be honest with you, I don't give a shit. File it under don't give a shit, really.
Oh my God.
I actually don't care. It's got nothing to do with United, so I'm not massively bothered. But I don't think Fred's over there, is he? So
No.
He could have stayed there.
Yeah, we kept him back. But actually, that's a good point. I saw somebody saying there, like, play Lingard on the left wing. For me, the team next week, let's talk about this, actually. Starting with you, Adam, who would you play? Because the back five takes care of itself, obviously. So let's just do the midfield and the attack. Who would you go as if he goes with the 4-2-3-1, who would you go as your midfield two, considering McTominay won't be fit for that? Well, he shouldn't be fit for that game. He's only just had the op. I think he'll be a little bit longer. So who would you put in your midfield two for that game?
For me, thinking about it, I think Pogba goes in there, and for me, I'm putting Matic in there. I think that's how I see it. I just feel like against Newcastle, we're going to have a lot of the ball. Honestly, I think we're getting 60% plus of the ball against Newcastle. The way Bruce plays, I just feel like Matic and Pogba, I think, good on the ball. I do think we're going to have to do a lot more with the ball than what we have when we're actually counter-attacking teams. So for that, I think, and that combination worked for a good spell when we first came back from COVID. And we've seen some of our best football at that time with Matic and Pogba in there. Matic is fit, he's fully rested, and you know what? You can always change it 60 minutes in, like we just spoke about. Matic can do that job and then bring him off after an hour. Bring on the energy, bring on a little bit more. Maybe bring on a Donny van der Beek. Wow, there's a comment on its own. Donny coming on, but it's, for me, I think what suits that front line in terms of quality of passing, because we're going to need to be on the ball. We're going to need to be good with possession. We're going to need to be doing a lot more with it. Pogba and Matic, out of all our midfielders, pass it better than any of them. I think we all agree. I think they're better than Fred, McTominay. We don't know about Donny yet. Donny's got qualities I don't know if we're ever going to see. So,
I think Donny and Matic work really well. We just haven't seen it enough. We've only seen it twice, but yeah. And I would put Pogba back on the left. That's what I would.
See, I you know what I would do with that? I would change Pogba to the left later on if it's not working. Yeah. I would say, you know what? Let's just say, go on then, Tony. Show me what you can do on the left-hand side. Play Greenwood the other side of Ronaldo and go Martial, Ronaldo, and Greenwood. Let's see what you've got, Tony. You've shown it for France. Have you got, with everyone coming back, have you got what it takes, like we just spoke about then, to be Manchester United's definite starter? Because you're not going to get as many chances as you are now. Not with Sancho still trying to integrate, Rashford being away. And you know what? Pogba can play better there than a lot of them forwards as well. So I just feel like, look, Martial left, go and do what you do. Go and do what we know you can do and show us. It's Newcastle. And I don't mean that in any disrespect, but we know what's coming. They're going to try play that long ball over the top and catch us on the odd break at Steve Bruce. We know exactly what's coming. They've got pace on attack. Saint-Maximin, there you go. Let's just try and do what Adama Traore did with Wolves, counter-attack. So we've got to be better and cleverer with the ball. And that's where I would put that middle two in, just for that reason. I'd play Martial on the left, Greenwood right, Ronaldo in the middle, and then Bruno in behind them. And I just think we do a lot more with the ball with them.
Joe, would you go with that? Or any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I like the thing is, I love Matic, and I feel like if he was 3 or 4 years younger, we'd have the exact player we want, and it's everything we need. But I always have in the back of my mind the age he's at and the fact that he just doesn't really start Premier League games anymore. But let's be honest, Newcastle are shit. So I'd say I would be optimistic and say that I'd love to see Matic and Pogba together, but I'd say it's most likely going to be Pogba and Fred alongside each other, similar to Wolves. But I would agree as well with pushing Pogba onto the left, which seemingly it's just you're getting the best out of him. But I also think Martial, considering I was very impressed with the way he came on against Southampton, he scored in the internationals. He deserves an opportunity, and when Rashford comes back, we don't know when the opportunity is going to come again. So I would agree, put Martial on the left, and unfortunately, alongside Pogba, it will be. I think it'll be Fred. But also, a part of me believes, and Mark, you sort of said it there, that I feel like he's going to throw everything out there a little bit, and it could be Donny and Matic starting together, because he has to give him an opportunity, and there were definitely promises that were made, or else he would have been gone. There must have been some midnight talks being like, you're going to play, and the only way to prove that is if he plays against Newcastle. There must have been something to say, I will stay if I play this game, just to prove that you do have me in your sights. So I'm going to say, throw it out there, I'm going to say Matic and Donny playing alongside each other, and I think Pogba might be rested with Martial starting.
Interesting. Jay, what's your thoughts then on that sort of midfield through to the front positions?
It's a very intriguing question, and no doubt it's a question that is going to dominate our pre-match chats all season long. I don't think Solskjaer will do it, but for me, it would be Matic and Donny in the middle of the park. I'd like Pogba to start out on the left, because we saw, I know it's Leeds, and Leeds is like an outlier because no one plays like Leeds. But the way Donny was, the way Pogba was drifting in from the left into midfield at whim, and we had many times in that game, we had a 3v2 against Leeds. So I literally would give Pogba license to roam from the left into the middle. And if and when it'll probably happen, Matic legs goes. At that point, then put Pogba up into the middle and then spring Martial off the bench. Because Martial now has got a point to prove. Because Martial knows he's got a very finite time between now and when Rashford comes back. And then he's down the pecking order. Ronaldo picks himself. Cavani's back up to Ronaldo for me. So any notion Martial has or had of being the striker, that's been nullified, because Mason Greenwood has shown that he's the better striker than Martial for me. So I would spring him off the bench, 20 minutes to go. Okay, Tony, you've got a point to prove. Pogba, get it back in the middle, do your thing. I do not want to see Fred on the team bus, let alone the team trip, for me.
Yeah. I'd rather Fred than
we know what's going to happen. It's going to be Pogba and Fred in the middle. We know that.
I'm just looking at some of the chat, and I've been called a hypocrite a couple of times, not for the first time because I put Paul Pogba on the left. But my point around that is that I didn't think Pogba played very well against Wolves. I don't think he works very well with Fred, and I think that my big problem is the midfield. We're going to talk about expectations in a moment. My big problem is the midfield. I don't like McTominay and Fred. I don't like Fred and Pogba. I don't like anything apart from Matic and Donny in recent week. It's the only thing. That Everton game was quite competitive, and I thought it worked. And I would never drop Pogba. So if I want to play Matic and Donny, I'm going to put Pogba on the left. And also, I don't think Sancho looks right, and apparently he's carrying a knock. So Greenwood plays off the right. Ronaldo plays up front, which means if I don't put Pogba on the left, I'm either got to play Martial there or Lingard there. And I don't mind Martial playing there, but I'd just play Pogba there, and I'd play Donny, and I'd play Matic. But I agree. I think it will be Fred and Pogba. And, I wouldn't be surprised if he chucked in Lingard on the left just to start it. I don't know. But He might play Cavani off the left. You just don't know with Ollie. We forget that Cavani's been promised game time to make him stay a year.
That's why I'm saying. I genuinely think he's going to start. I genuinely think he's going to start against.
He might not start Ronaldo. I said this the other day. He might not start Ronaldo. You know, Ollie, he might go, you got to work your way in.
Put him in the under-23s for a couple of weeks, see what he's made of.
Can you imagine on Friday press conference and he's asked about Ronaldo and Ronnie, he's doing very well in training, but he's adapted the English game. Can you imagine put out that shit?
Oh my God.
Well in training, we see.
Yeah, he's trained really well, Ollie. Seriously.
Well, he hasn't picked an 11 this season, has he? He's not picked an 11 anybody would have predicted. The Leeds game, Dan James started. The Southampton game, it was whether Varane and Sancho were going to start. He didn't start either of them, but still made 2 changes. And then the Wolves game again, he started Dan James again. So he's not gone anywhere near predictable so far this season. Let's round the show up by having a little bit of a revisit of season expectations, because Ronaldo's here now. We've got 7 points from 9, so we've got a little bit more evidence. We'll mix it up this time. We'll go to you first, Jay, on this one. So, not fantasy stuff, but it's your own personal choice. What now are the expectations for you, plus minimum expectations? So what you would expect us to achieve, but if we don't do that, we've got to minimum do that. Okay,
in essence, my bare minimum I expect is come the 1st of May, we are within 3 points of a title. Be that first, second, or third. There's no more than 3 points kind of first day in May. Anything less than that, for me, is abject failure. I think with our attacking talent, we're actually better suited this season in the Champions League. We've got a very soft draw. We should be winning that group, guys, hands down. I know we probably falter against Villarreal, 2 boring draws. We discussed it in another show. But yeah, I think we're better suited Champions League. I expect us to be going minimum Champions League semi-finalists at a minimum. Again, that's all predicated on Solskjaer putting the round pegs in the round holes, and Mr. Ronaldo, God forbid, not getting injured. Because he gets injured, all bets are off.
Joe, what about for you?
To be honest, Jay's kind of hit on the head there. Minimum expectations is still being in the hunt, and 3 points, maybe 3 or 4, whatever it is, but still being not just mathematically, but actually like we are properly in the hunt for this. We're not just pushing to the end, like properly in the hunt. That's minimum expectations. And a trophy as well. Our trophy has to be won this season for me, no matter what. And I feel the best chance we have to win a trophy, like a major one, is the Champions League. I think that's over the Premier League, and I think the players we have are made for that, like Jay was saying. And I think if Solskjaer, as we all know, is great at one-off games. So I don't think there's any reason why we can't, first of all, man for man, why we can't beat any team in the world. And then PSG will say man for man might be the biggest test, but they live in our back pocket. So I think we can take any team at any time in the world. And for me, the Champions League is the ultimate dream. And I really feel it can happen this season over any. And that for me is the dream. So Champions League over everything, and minimum expectation that we get a trophy, and we are laughing going into the last month of May.
I think, just before we go to Adam, it's interesting you said trophy, because we talk about the Champions League and the Premier League, and they're the main trophies for Manchester United. But, going back to what's been running through this entire show about rotation, we've got a massive squad, and, we shouldn't be in the Carabao Cup situation picking Mengi, Brandon Williams, and people like that. We should be picking Eric Bailly and Victor Lindelof and Jesse Lingard and Mason Greenwood, and maybe even a Jadon Sancho, depending on form. I agree. I think Carabao Cup and FA Cup don't really do it for me, but it won't impact the first team anyway. And the quality of it is I don't know what you think, Adam. I agree with that. I think a cup has to be. We're not just talking Premier League and Champions League. With the squad we've got, you can put strong teams out in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup as well.
Yeah, you're looking at Carabao Cup. You could have Henderson, Dalot, Telles, Lindelof, Bailly. You could have midfield in front of that of Matic and Donny, or any combination you want in midfield. Then you're looking at possibly a front line of what? Rashford, Martial, Mata, Lingard, Greenwood, Sancho. Yeah. You know what I mean? We should be competing for everything. I don't care. It's like For me, our squad is better than. Oh God, I look at it this way in terms of what we should be challenging for. I put our team in the bracket of half of it being world class now. Our first team. That's the way I look at it. World class status. I remember talking on a previous show about our front line years gone by against Southampton, being likes of Dan James, Rashford, and Martial. And now we're looking at possibly having a front line of Ronaldo, or Cavani, a Sancho, a Greenwood. You know what I mean? It's completely changed. So going back to the standards thing again, it's gone up. It's gone up a level. And for me, how I said before Ronaldo came in, it should be second and challenging for the title. I do think we should be winning the league, mate. That's honestly where I think this team is. I class Shaw as world class. Maguire and Varane, both world class for me. I think they both get into any team in the world. Ronaldo, Cavani, Bruno, you know what I mean? They're all world class, absolute winners. I do agree that, and I said this to Ricky the other day, and I think that's why he didn't answer me back. I just said to him, I said, Ricky, look, mate, you're not going to see the football you want to see this season. You're going to have to face it, mate. I think it was a realisation why he didn't answer me back. That's why. I said, but in this team, we have got born winners. We have got world-class players who can win you any game on any day. And we won't see the right style of football we want to see. We won't see consistent football. But what we will do is win a lot of games. Yeah. And for that, I agree with the boys a little bit there in terms of how I would take this team up against any in the Champions League. There are managers out there that could outwit Ole, but with Ronaldo, with Cavani, the nous, the knowledge and knowing the big occasion, you've now got the likes of Shaw and Maguire. You know what I mean? How many finals have they been to recently? They've been to the highest level, international now. They're used to it now. You got Varane to add to that. And do you know what? No. I want to be winning the league. Simple as that. That's what I want, mate. And that's what I think United should be looking to do. Challenging for all 4 major trophies. No excuse. That's what I think this club and this squad is good enough to do. And that's not being negative. That's just accepting and trusting that this team and these players and the manager is good enough to win that. So I'm putting myself behind this team in a way of saying, I expect, not in a negative way, I expect because I know how good they are and I know what we've got. So that for me is more positive than saying it's a negative if we don't get it and I start moaning. It's not. I see it as a positive. So win everything, compete for everything. That's United. And this team is good enough. I know it is.
I think there's a lot of good points from the three of you there. I do agree that the Champions League is probably our best bet because I think in a one-on-one situation we're dangerous. And I think also the midfield issue is less likely to be exposed in a couple of cup games than it is over a 38-game season. I think Ronaldo is going to open a lot of eyes, hopefully rival eyes who think he's not the player he was. I think he's got to give, if we use him right, and that's a big if, it's all eyes on Ollie again, because if we keep using a striker in a graveyard shift, he won't score anything. Yeah. We've got to open up to score the goals. If we create the chances, and we've definitely got the players to do that, he will get us another 12 to 15 points, maybe 20 points. So I want my expectation, I always do it on points. I want to see 85 points minimum. Yeah. And if we've got 85 points minimum, we will be in a title race come April, because we will. And I'd agree with Jay. Semi-finals, Champions League, you just don't know. You might not catch a break. But I like what Adam and Joe have said as well. I think that you look at that squad, especially that lineup that Adam was going through there. That's good enough to beat anybody, probably apart from, maybe a Man City or a Chelsea, but they're going to rotate as well. And if they don't rotate, we put our strongest team out. So I think we've got to win a trophy, 85 points, deep into the Champions League. They are my expectations. My minimum expectations are, if we're getting knocked out before the quarterfinals, we better be getting knocked out by the winner. And in the league, I don't want to see us any lower than third. And I don't want to see us any further than 10 points off the title, and any more than that. And I think that, something's gone wrong, but we can all point to where that probably will be. I think the midfield is just it's the only area where we're not stacked. It's the only area where we're not confident. And unfortunately, it's the most important area of the pitch. I wish it was left back. I wish it was right back. It's not.
No, that's it. I mean, we've got players in every position, haven't we? Apart from that centre midfield area. I mean, we've got. It's like that League Cup team I rolled off there. Even the back line alone, you've got full-blown internationals waiting for their chance to come in. It's ridiculous.
You've got our starting centre backs of 3 years ago as our third and fourth choice now. That's
like I said. That's like I said, Joe. That's like how far we've come from them days. So the expectation level should go up with that. Like we all wanted and moaned about then, which I think was justified.
Lindelof and Bay is a good complementary centre. They work as well. Quick. Yeah. Good ones.
Are they both captains of their national teams now? Am I right in thinking that? I don't know if Bailly is, but I know Lindelof got it, didn't he?
Yeah.
But how long is this? This is the longest I've known Eric Bailly be fit for.
Yeah.
He can't get in the team now.
That's why he's fit. That's why he's fit. Yeah. He can't throw himself around like bloody Armstrong, can
he? No suicide tackles. God.
I think it just always just come down to that bloody midfielder. But I'm just hoping he's got a plan because he's got to. As long as the midfield moves the ball quickly, we'll be all right. If it's just when it slows us down, and if it slows us down, well, the positive is Ronaldo's not going to sit for it, is he? He's not going to be happy about that. Anyway, we've done the hour, which I think is fantastic on an international break because it's not always easy. But we've had a good old chat about stuff. And remember, the bottom line is definitely not moaning. It's about the expectations. That's where everybody's fan. That's where all United fans' expectations should be. They should be up there now. We've got the best player in the world with Messi. We haven't got Messi, but we have got the best player in the world. Varane's one of the best centre backs in the world. There's a lot to be excited about. And I go back to what I said. It's all eyes on Ollie. Time to deliver. No excuses. It's he's got the pressure now, and he is under pressure. He is under pressure, but not in a pressure where people are saying Ollie out. I think it's just like even Ollie outers are looking at him and going, well, what are you going to do with all this then? Yeah. Because you've got Richards, no United manager. Was it you, Adam? You said it, to be fair. This is a better squad than what Sir Alex Ferguson had when he won the title last time. You could argue it's one of the best squads we've ever had.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we had Tom Cleverley in that title-winning team. So, you know what I mean? Compare him to what we've got now. I'm sure you'd still take better than Tom Cleverley. He made it work. And going back to, you can't use the CDM as the excuse again. Pep Guardiola had no number 9 last season, outscored every team in the league. Jurgen Klopp finished third with his whole defence missing. These managers found a way to compete. Yeah. So don't use the CDM as an excuse. You know what I mean? We've got enough to challenge all of them teams. We've just got to act, and our standards have to be up there where United standards should be, because it is good enough. We have got more than enough. And like I said, I'm excited to see how it all goes down and how we manage this squad. It's like the boys said before, it's just an intrigue, isn't it? It's like, how's he going to do it? How's he going to do it? And I can't wait to dissect it and watch over everything and how he actually manages it all.
Speaking of standards, before we go, my local club here, Stockholm Gales, we came from 2-0 down to win 3-2 today to keep standards up high. We're about to win the league, and my mate Jack, he scored the winner. He made me promise to say thanks for scoring the last minute goal on this tonight. So
did you say Jack. Stockholm Girls? You're playing for
Stockholm Gales, Mark. Okay. Gales.
You still said girls.
No, I said Gales, Mark. It's actually an Gales. Irish thing. Gales. Okay. Yeah, girls. Okay. Oh, ha, girls, all right? We're winning the league, all right?
There's nothing wrong with playing with the girls.
All right, yeah. We don't currently play with girls, okay? But thank you, Jack, for scoring the last minute to get us the 3-2 win.
He was telling us off there, he's been playing with a lot of girls in Sweden. He's scoring a lot of goals, apparently. He has been playing with it.
Yeah.
Jay, I was just going to say, actually, bringing it back to football, Leicester won the league. I'm sure Leicester, after the first 3 games, were sat there worrying about their midfield and everything like that. I mean, look, we have got an abundance of riches, and we do over scrutinise. But look, teams have won the league with far worse squads than we've got.
Yeah. Also, if you look at Ferguson's squad in 2013 when we won a title, like. Obviously, look, Van Persie came in and he was a game changer in 2013 for us. I think we can all agree to that. But this squad that Solskjaer has trumps that 2013 squad. It's on par with 2008. For me, the 99 squad was the best squad we ever had, for me personally. So, as everyone has said, there are no more excuses. All bets are off. It's literally now, an Irish expression, to should have got off the pot. Very simple.
Get off the pot. There we go.
Yeah.
Looking forward to
Okay.
it. Looking forward to it. Thanks, lads, for coming on.
Cheers.
Anytime.
Thanks for having us on. Absolute pleasure.
And thank you to everyone in the chat. Really appreciate it. We're building up towards Saturday, obviously, from tomorrow. I think Incy's on tomorrow in the morning. So I'm going to ask him about the dressing room because it's the international break. Because he was in the dressing room after Cantona, and he said there's got a bit of a story about that. So we'll get that on the show tomorrow as well. Make sure you subscribe, smash a like, and all that jazz. And we'll speak to you all soon. Have a fantastic day, evening, or afternoon, whatever you're doing.